The system that we are covering today is the nervous system. The nervous system allows us to interact with our surroundings and to help us be aware of the dangers in the environment. First, the nervous system is comprised of the brain, spinal cord, and a network of nervous cells that push the nerve impulses in or out of the body. So, what are we looking at here? Here we see that this is an aerial view of the top of the brain. We see that the brain is made up of 4 parts. We have the frontal lobe in red. Inferior to the frontal lobe is the parietal lobe in blue. Moving to the sides laterally, we have the temporal lobe in green. And in the back of the brain, we have the occipital lobe in purple. Moving down, we are able to see the spinal cord in orange. And at the end of the brain stem, the brain cells called neurons. Neurons that send impulses away from the brain are called efferent neurons. In this project, the efferent neurons are represented by the negative wires. The neurons that send information toward the brain through sensory input are called afferent neurons, the positive wires. This project is an artistic rendering about how the afferent neurons send impulses to the brain and how the brain is able to make sense of the information brought in. First, the brainstem and spinal cord, or spinal cord, helps us to regulate breathing, digestion, and the body temperature represented by a long orange tube. Next, let's discuss sight. Here's our little eyeballs. When we see something, the occipital lobe reacts. The occipital lobe is responsible for vision and color perception. The occipital lobe is able to interpret all images that we see. Next, when we hear something, the temporal lobe reacts. The temporal lobe is on either side of the brain. You are also able to hear me speaking English, and this is a location for speech interpretation. The temporal lobe is a location where we store memories as well. Now, let's just say that I am thinking about life itself. Let's unplug this, sorry. There we go. I am thinking about life itself, and I am thinking about the great philosophers, agreeing and disagreeing with them in my mind. This would activate the frontal lobe. The frontal lobe is our problem-solving, reasoning, and most emotionally expressive part of our brain. Think of the person you are and how you express yourself. This region of the brain is the part of you that is the most unique and makes you the person you are today. Last, let's get my little cactus. We're going to touch this cactus. Ouch! That is my parietal lobe reacting. The parietal lobe interprets things that we may touch in the environment. This is a defense mechanism that warns our body when we are in danger. The skin on our body communicates with our brain to remove us from danger, as well as warming us up when it was cold, or cooling us down when it's hot. Our nervous system is insanely complex. And in reality, every single one of these little wires, or neurons in this case, are lit up, and they are constantly moving and ever changing. Ever thinking. That is it for my project. Thank you.